Hi everybody, we're here in my swing studio. Today we're talking about movement, and that's the movement of the body and how the head relates to it. You're often told that your head should stay still. This is not true. So we've got fine examples of three very great players that would have moved their heads two different ways to achieve movement of their body and also squareness and power into their golf shots. One of those is obviously the great Jack Nicklaus. So when he stood up to it, he had a tendency of turning his head to the right to allow him to create a lot more rotation, generate a lot more speed. And then you had two great players that did the opposite on the way through, which is David Duval and the great Annika Sorsen. So on the way back, after they were coming in, their head was gone, and that helped them to release the club with a lot more power direction as well. So the concept of keeping your head still is not correct. Sometimes people feel like they're keeping it still. It is about rotation, movement at all times, without swaying too much on or off of it. So there is a limit, but it's knowing what that is in relation to your body type as well. So if you've got poor flexibility, you will have movement with the head and sometimes even movement in your feet, like a tapping up and down rather than a sway. And if somebody who's incredibly fit and flexible, you'll look like you're rotating around your spine, but there is a sense of movement still with the head to slightly left or right, sometimes up and down. So this exercise will show it. So if I move my head to the right, it allows me to rotate more. I'm now behind it, which also allows me to release. And then I've got the ball here as well. As I turn back, I release my head through. That allows my body to go through. So keeping your head still can affect how you move your body. So I'm just going to show you a few shots with that. I'm going to start with my wedge first. And so I'm going to set up to it. First swing will be my swing. So this is what it looks like. There we go. So this is obviously showing you how much my head moves both that way and that way through the ball. I do have a slight movement to the right from watching my videos. It's a little trigger in my swing and then a major release forward, because my head's always in front of my body. It's never behind. So like if I try and keep my head there on the way through and I keep my head centered, I fall back. Likewise if I go the other way. All right, so that's my wedge shot. Now, I'll do the great Jack Nicklaus swing. I'm going to move my head back to create a lot more rotation in my shoulders, and that helps my movement through again. Then, the other two, David Duval and Annika Sorsen swing, where your eyes go after the ball before you hit it. Keep your eyes on the ball, but not down and still. So, I set up to it again. There's the center. That's what the shafts are there for. So I swing back, and my head's gone early before I hit it. So that's with the wedge. If I go to a wider club, you'll get a better sense of how much my head moves, especially at longer clubs, because a lot of how big the head looks like moving is related also to the width of your feet. So I've got a narrow stance, you don't see as much movement like with the wedge. If we go wider, you're actually going to see a lot more movement behind the ball. But it's relative to the width of my stance, because my head, as I said, is in front of my chest. So as I turn back, my head is inside my right foot. And then as I swing through, my head is now in line with my left foot. So it's relative to the width of your stance as well and the club you use. So we'll do my swing again with the rescue. This ball position is just left the center. There we go. Dead straight, slight miss hit, because I felt I got a bit stuck, so I didn't allow movement there as much. Now I'm going to do the great Jack Nicklaus shot, which is head back further to allow me to rotate. And a big release, slightly thin, so I was too far behind for me, so it doesn't work for me doing that as much as Jack might have done. A little bit for me. Now I'm going to do the Annika and David Duval movement, where I get my head to release early on the way through before I get back to the ball. And that worked for me, so my transition through was a lot better. And I know that in my golf swing, I get a bit flat-footed on the way through, so I don't get that sense of movement forward. And that's about the head moving, not the body moving, to achieve that. So the concept of keeping the head still is not the right concept, because it stops movement. With the big shots, you want movement. Putting, no, you want to keep that center. But the golf swing is all about moving back and through, maybe not left and right, but back and through. And the more you can create that movement, the more chance you have of hitting it clean, hitting it straight, and definitely hitting it long. My name's William Noble. I'm the club professional at St. Anne's Golf Club. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.